Hey Raiders fans, it's time to dive deep into the latest buzz surrounding the Las Vegas Raiders and their quarterback situation, because there's a lot happening that could shape the future of this franchise for years to come. Right now, we're only 9 games into the season, but the conversations off the field are already heating up, and one name keeps popping up that has Raider Nation buzzing with speculation: CJ Carr. Now, what's fascinating about Carr is that he won't even be draft eligible until 2 years from now in 2027, which makes all of this planning and scouting extremely intriguing. The fact that this young quarterback, a redshirt freshman starting at Notre Dame, is already showing such poise and consistency is something that the Raiders and their decision-makers can't ignore. With a 67.6% completion rate, 19 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions, he has demonstrated accuracy that many quarterbacks only dream of at this stage, and you can bet that Tom Brady, with his obsession for precision and decision-making, would be taking notes. Standing 6 feet 3 inches and weighing 210 pounds, Carr has the ideal frame for a modern quarterback and shows a level of arm strength and field vision that is reminiscent of elite players, albeit in a more measured, methodical way. Some have compared him to a less flashy Joe Burrow, and that comparison comes from his ability to consistently place the ball exactly where it needs to be, which is exactly the kind of quarterback play a forward-thinking franchise wants to cultivate. The Raiders, under this current regime, appear to be thinking very long-term when it comes to their quarterback plans. Even though the team has Geno Smith under contract, and there is still the immediate question of who will lead the team in 2026, all signs suggest that the organization is positioning itself for a strategic transition to a potential franchise quarterback like Carr. The notion of continuity and careful planning cannot be overstated here. The front office has been making calculated decisions, structuring contracts in a way that aligns with their projected timeline, keeping options open, and creating flexibility for a quarterback who could one day define the franchise's next era. CJ Carr's lineage adds another layer to this story. His grandfather, Lloyd Carr, is a legendary figure in college football, having coached at Michigan where he mentored Tom Brady himself, and also John Spytek, who now plays a significant role in the Raiders front office. The connections and relationships here are impossible to ignore. It's not just about talent. It's about mentorship, football intelligence, and an understanding of the game that runs through generations. When you combine these ties with the meticulous way the Raiders have been approaching contracts, it paints a picture of an organization that values both on-field skill and the intangible aspects of leadership and football IQ. Every move, from front-loading contracts for key defensive players like Max Crosby to structuring Geno Smith's deal to provide both immediate capability and future flexibility, hints at a roadmap that peaks in 2027, coinciding perfectly with Carr's draft eligibility. The timing seems too precise to be accidental, and the pattern is becoming clearer to those paying close attention. Then there's the endorsement from Tom Brady himself, who has publicly stated that CJ Carr is the most impressive quarterback he has seen at the college level since Joe Burrow. That kind of high praise carries weight, particularly considering Brady's deep understanding of what makes a quarterback successful at both the professional and collegiate levels. It's not just about arm strength or mobility. It's about reading defenses, making precise throws under pressure, and possessing a mental toughness that can withstand the grind of a full season. All of these elements are on display in Carr's performances at Notre Dame, and the Raiders scouts and executives are undoubtedly studying every game film, every stat line, and every decision he makes on the field. The fact that he has shown consistent improvement, learning from each game and gaining confidence, is exactly what a team like the Raiders would want in a quarterback who could one day become the centerpiece of the franchise. They are not looking for a flash-in-the-pan prospect. They're looking for someone who can grow, develop, and become a leader over the long term. And in that sense, Carr fits the profile perfectly. Looking at the bigger picture, the Raiders' commitment to relationships and continuity extends beyond the quarterback position. They've been strategic in tying themselves to key players who embody the team's culture and long-term vision. Max Crosby, for example, received a contract that was front-loaded, giving the team immediate impact while still allowing for flexibility in future years. This indicates that the Raiders are not just building for the next season. They're constructing a roster designed to peak at a certain point, aligning perfectly with the expected development and arrival of a potential franchise quarterback. Similarly, the selection of young talent like Ashton Gentry, paired with coaches who have direct ties to Notre Dame, shows a pattern of thoughtful integration and preparation for a quarterback's future growth. Every decision, from drafting to coaching hires to contract structures, appears to be part of a cohesive plan that could culminate in the emergence of C.J. Carr as the Raiders' leader under center. It's a strategy that blends foresight, talent evaluation, and relationship management in a way that few organizations can replicate. While nothing is officially set in stone, the alignment of talent, timing, and connections creates a compelling narrative. C.J. Carr's on-field performance demonstrates his readiness to play at a high level, but the off-field factors, the mentorship, the organizational planning, the contract structures, and the relationships suggest that the Raiders are preparing for a future where he could be the central figure in their quarterback room. For fans, this is both exciting and speculative. There is the immediate concern of who will start in 2026, but the broader vision points toward a carefully orchestrated plan that could redefine the franchise's trajectory for years to come. Raider Nation is watching closely, and the conversation around C.J. Carr continues to gain momentum because it is rooted in observable trends, credible insights, and tangible evidence that this is more than mere rumor. It is a glimpse into what could be the next chapter in Las Vegas football history, a chapter that combines talent, strategy, and legacy into a single vision for sustained success. Every game, every scouting report, and every strategic decision made over the next 2 years will serve as building blocks toward that potential reality. And for those paying attention, it's becoming clear that C.J. Carr is more than just a name. He could very well be the cornerstone of the Raiders' future. As we continue to dissect the Raiders' long-term quarterback strategy, it becomes increasingly clear that this organization is playing a very sophisticated chess game. The moves they have made on the roster, the way contracts have been structured, and the relationships they have cultivated all point toward a deliberate plan to groom a quarterback who can lead the franchise into the next era. With C.J. Carr on the horizon, the potential is enormous. He has already shown an ability to read defenses at a high level, anticipate pressure, and make decisions under duress, which is exactly what you need from a future franchise quarterback. The Raiders have seen firsthand how crucial it is to have a QB who can handle both the mental and physical demands of the league, and Carr's progression at Notre Dame gives them a preview of what might be possible in Las Vegas. From his accuracy to his poise in the pocket, he demonstrates traits that suggest he is capable of taking on that responsibility, and the connections with the Raiders' leadership make this scenario even more compelling. The interplay between on-field performance and off-field mentorship cannot be overstated. Tom Brady's involvement as a minority owner and advisor gives the Raiders a unique perspective. His insight into what makes a quarterback succeed, both in terms of mechanics and football IQ, adds significant weight to the evaluation process. When Brady publicly compared C.J. Carr to Joe Burrow, it wasn't just casual praise. It was a statement that signals to the organization and to fans that Carr is a legitimate prospect with the tools necessary to succeed at the professional level. Beyond the skills Carr brings, there is the influence of his grandfather, Lloyd Carr, whose legacy in college football and connection to both Brady and John Spytek cannot be ignored. This web of relationships, mentorship, and shared football philosophy creates an environment where Carr could potentially transition into the NFL with a support system that few young quarterbacks have access to. It's a rare combination of talent, preparation, and guidance, and it aligns perfectly with the Raiders' apparent strategy of planning for the future while still remaining competitive in the present. The financial architecture of the team also tells an interesting story. By front-loading key contracts like Max Crosby's, the Raiders ensured that they had immediate impact on defense while creating salary cap flexibility in the later years. This indicates a clear projection toward a peak competitive window, likely around 2027, when C.J. Carr would be eligible and ready to take the reins. Similarly, the structuring of Geno Smith's contract suggests that the organization wants to maintain stability in the quarterback room while also preparing for a seamless transition. It's about creating an environment where a young quarterback can learn without being rushed, where he can develop alongside experienced veterans, and where the team is set up financially and structurally to maximize his impact when the time comes. This is a level of forward thinking that separates franchises that are constantly rebuilding from those that are building towards sustained success. It's also worth noting that the Raiders are not making these decisions in isolation. The selection of players, the hiring of coaches with specific connections to collegiate programs, and the emphasis on development all point to a system that values both talent and familiarity with winning football cultures. The running back coach, for instance, has experience at Notre Dame, creating another link to Carr's environment and offering additional support in understanding the offensive system and the demands of high-level play. These are the kinds of details that may seem minor on the surface, but they accumulate to create a cohesive and supportive developmental ecosystem for a quarterback like Carr. The Raiders are demonstrating that they understand the importance of layering talent, relationships, and mentorship to cultivate a leader who can thrive in both the mental and physical aspects of professional football. For fans, this scenario is incredibly exciting. The notion of having a quarterback who has been carefully scouted, mentored, and prepared by the organization itself is the kind of long-term vision that many teams only dream of. It represents a level of strategic thinking that combines scouting acumen, talent development, financial planning, and relationship management. The trajectory set by the current regime suggests that they are willing to be patient, to allow a quarterback to grow under the right conditions, and to ensure that when he does step onto the field as the starter, he is positioned for success from day one. The Raiders' approach is not impulsive. It is methodical, calculated, and designed with a clear endgame in mind. C.J. Carr, with his skill set, football lineage, and developmental potential, fits into this vision like a missing puzzle piece. Looking at the broader picture, the Raiders' future quarterback plan is about more than just filling a position. It's about creating a sustainable competitive window where the team can build around a quarterback who embodies the philosophy, skill set, and leadership qualities that the organization values. It's about continuity, foresight, and execution, and it demonstrates a level of professionalism and strategic thinking that is rare in the NFL. The pieces are all coming together. A talented quarterback on the rise, a front office committed to long-term planning, a coaching staff aligned with developmental principles, and financial structures designed to support the team's peak performance window. When you add all of this together, it paints a compelling picture of a franchise positioning itself to be competitive for years, with C.J. Carr potentially at the helm. The implications for the Raiders, for fans, and for the trajectory of the team are profound, and it sets the stage for what could be one of the most exciting quarterback transitions in recent NFL history. As we move closer to 2027, all eyes will be on Carr, the Raiders' management, and how this long-term strategy unfolds, promising an era where preparation, talent, and foresight converge to define the next chapter in Las Vegas football. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are spreading fast through NFL circles, and the latest noise out of Las Vegas has fans and insiders buzzing. According to ESPN, the Raiders have confirmed serious interest in free agent safety Justin Simmons, the two-time All-Pro who unexpectedly hit the open market. While no official deal has been announced, the confirmation alone has sent shockwaves through both the AFC West and the rest of the league. Simmons, long regarded as one of the smartest and most dependable safeties in football, could bring exactly what the Raiders have been missing on the back end: leadership, communication, and a touch of star power. His tenure with Denver made him a familiar face and nemesis to the silver and black, which only adds more spice to the story. The idea of Simmons wearing the Raiders' colors feels almost cinematic, a division villain turned potential ally. Behind the scenes, there's talk that the Raiders' front office has been quietly monitoring Simmons since his release, seeing him as the missing piece to anchor a defense that has shown flashes but craves consistency. Coach Antonio Pierce is said to admire Simmons' discipline and football IQ, traits that align perfectly with the gritty culture he's trying to build. Still, there's a cloud of uncertainty. Sources close to the situation suggest that multiple contenders are circling, making this a high-stakes race. The Raiders' confirmation might simply be an opening move, a signal to other teams that Las Vegas is ready to play in the big leagues again. Fans are already speculating, social media is ablaze, and every cryptic emoji or follow on X is being dissected like game tape. Whether it ends with Simmons patrolling Allegiant Stadium or not, one thing is clear. The Raiders are making noise, and the league is paying attention. In a division loaded with offensive firepower, adding a defensive general like Justin Simmons could be a game-changer, and the kind of bold move that reshapes the AFC West narrative overnight. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.